motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. 8:36 in the studio. Let me say good morning to Donna Lee. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Mr. J.K. I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. And yourself?
I am great.
Good.
Nice. Let's get into our program.
Yes. Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts this morning, thanking you for another opportunity to say thank you and for us to be on our jobs. Thank you, dear God, for health and strength and for all the qualities of life that you have given to us. As we go through today, God, may you continue to be our guiding light and may you be the step in front and behind of us. Grant us peace, mercies, blessings. These things we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Good morning again, Mr. GQ.
Yes.
And good morning to those persons out there in Major Land, those persons who are listening to our radio program. Our program is never the same without you. Mm-hmm. And so we are always grateful for your intervention, whatever it is, whether it's a suggestion, whether it's a comment, good or otherwise. We always appreciate you being a part of our program. Mm-hmm. Now, today, Mr. GQ, we not focusing on just the photo radar again today, but we would just speak to it briefly, and then we would speak to the offences that is continuous in our federation that persons are still not adhering to. And so persons can call in, and you can open the lines whenever you're ready, and we will take the calls and the suggestions.
All right. The number to call is 465-1977. And if you have me on WhatsApp already, you can send your voice note or your messages, and I'll read them. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. GQ, we continue to speak of the photo radar, and it's still a work in progress, and the persons that are still not adhering to the photo radar, we would have already collected over 450 tickets on the photo radar. Now, persons are still wondering and being bothered about where the photo radars are, but if you are a law-abiding citizen, I don't think that where the photo radars are at this time is important. We are seeing a behavioral change in the driving in some persons, yes, and we appreciate, but we still have persons who are going far beyond the speed limit. When you're driving in a 40 miles per hour zone, and which is 32 kilometers, and the radar clocks you at 40, 45 in a 20 miles per hour zone, you're going really fast. If you're in a 40 miles per hour zone, which is 64 kilometers, and you're doing 65 and 70, you're going way above the speed limit. And so we're asking persons and drivers to desist in the way how we drive. Let us continue to be obedient to the law. Let us continue to be good citizens so that we can make a better nation. The photo radar at some point will be, you will know at some point where they are. And as Mr. Maguire would have said on the last program, it's not a secret. But you driving the way you drive is being lawless, for want of a better word. Because persons think that we are focusing so much on the photo radar, persons continuously commit other traffic offenses that are still on the books. Let's take one in the red light, especially the one there on East Independence Square Street. And when they're not running the red light on East Independence Square Street, persons continuously block the entrance. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you're driving on Frigate Bay Road and you're Pond Road, there is a stoplight right by that Victoria roundabout. You're heading towards the police station. If the light is changing, it's yellow, it's changing to red, why would you run that light and stop directly in front of the top of East Parkway, East Independence Square Street? it means then that when the light on East Independence Square Street gets to green, the persons will not be able to come out because there is a block. And so persons have to be mindful. Under no circumstance should anyone block any street whatsoever. So that in itself is an offense. Bearing in mind that there is traffic going east, traffic going west, and so persons must be mindful. Traffic is traveling from the bottom of East Independence Square Street, and so when you're traveling on Pond Road, please be mindful of the traffic lights when you're trying to run a red light. Traffic offences continues with the parking on sidewalk. Let us take the Cable Building, for example. Persons are in a habit of parking on the sidewalk at the Cable Building. That is not a parking area. Sidewalks are for pedestrians to cross. Sidewalks are not even for persons who are riding a motorbike or persons who are riding those pedal thingy that you have persons now who are now using. I can't bring the name to me now, GQ. Those they look like skateboards with a long handle. Persons are now using them for
the scooters.
Scooters, right? Persons are now using them for transportation, basically. But persons are in the habit of riding on the sidewalk, parking on the sidewalk, and these are traffic offences. Persons who continually use the area by KFC as a pedestrian crossing, and we've been saying it over and over. We know the general public maybe being disgusted about we just speaking about that area and not really trying to deal with the situation, but it is still not a pedestrian crossing. The pedestrian crossing lies next to the traffic light, which is closer to the Social Security building. Persons who are in the habit of making a no right turn coming from west going into the Sands Complex, that's an offense. There is a traffic warden there who on a daily basis comes to the traffic department with endless tickets. And not only is she coming with tickets, not that she wants to ticket people, but persons are just being disrespectful. And in listening to her and her having conversations with individuals, they're very disrespectful. And we take a gentleman as recent as yesterday. And that is no way to behave, because one, she's in uniform, she's a part of the police force, and she's a human being just like you, and she's doing a job, and we have to be respectful. And so you're breaking the law, and she's having a conversation with you about the offenses that you're committing, and you find it best to operate the way you want to operate. And we're asking persons to desist from these kind of behaviors, because it is lawless, and it is just not the correct thing to do.
Before you continue, just saw a message here coming in. This person is saying, "Blessed morning. Here's a suggestion for the crossing at KFC. How about getting Public Works to dig up the crossing and replace it without the zebra lines?"
Thank you very much, Carla. As a matter of fact, it's something was said on that line, on that basis, some time ago while we were on the radio program. But we are slow in acting to that area. Public Works would have their issues, and so that is an internal matter for us to deal with. But I take your comment, Carla. Thank you so much.
All right. Another comment coming in. Good morning. Parking on the sidewalk issue. Up at Sol gas station at the village, they recently opened a bar or something of that sort there with a Carib logo on the wall, where a vehicle constantly parks part on the sidewalk and part in the road. It obstructs traffic also.
Thank you for that, Carl. And these are the things that we're looking for, because we're not in every area and we don't see everything. And so this is the information that we look forward to from the general public. So I will take a note of that. Thank you very much, Carlo.
As it relates to the zebra crossing down at Ross University, Bucky has been on this campaign about there are too many of them. I know Sergeant McGuire addressed it. Do you mind addressing that concern again?
And Mr. GQ, I don't mind, but there is nothing I have to add to what Mr. McGuire would have said. As a matter of fact, Mr. McGuire himself and Superintendent Batcher and Inspector Gordon, they were at a meeting last Wednesday, and I cannot sit where I'm at and say what would have been spoken of in that meeting. Mm-hmm. So I guess that we would have to leave that information for Mr. McGuire to pass on when he gets back on the radio program next.
All right. And just in case you just tuned in, we are now taking your call, your questions, your comments, your concerns, 465-1977. If you have me on WhatsApp, you can send your message and I'll read them, or I'll play your voice note. Back over to you.
Yes. So, Mr. JQ, again, persons are still not adhering to the number plates. We find that persons would take their motor vehicles for inspection with their number plates being in the center as required by the law, and by the time you see them on the street 2-3 weeks after, they're bearing their number plate on the side of the vehicles, and we're wondering why persons want to continue to be so lawless. We're also having issues with persons still not adhering to the tint on their vehicles. Remember, the tint percentage is 35%. If your vehicle comes in from overseas and it has tint on it already, and you add tint to it, it is going to automatically make the vehicle darker than what the required percentage of tint, the required percentage for the tint. Also bear in mind that your number plates must be of one size and one color. Persons are still driving around with their number plates pink and white and red and white and yellow, green, and gold, and we don't have a problem in persons fancying up their vehicles. All we're saying, whatever you're going to do, whatever changes you're going to make to your vehicles, please to make sure that it's in accordance with the law. Our 15.06 is available. You can go to government headquarters and get yourself a copy. All of the laws that we speak about here is in that law book. There is nothing that we would have change or nothing that we come here and make up. There is also policies and regulations that are guided, that we are guided by as police officers.
Before we continue, someone is making a comment about, bringing to your attention parking at Baker's Corner by the Chinese supermarket.
Thank you very much, Carla, for that, and I am happy that the general public is recognizing. We as police officers, and I would say this with no regrets, Mr. GQ. Sometimes we allow things to fester. Sometimes we allow things to happen, because if I am thinking that person sometimes gets fed up, because if sometimes I'm driving my personal vehicle, I may or may not be wearing my uniform, but 95% of the general public knows that Donald is still a police officer. And so sometimes I would pull up and I would say, "Good morning, how are you?" Let's take a busman, for example. He pulls up at an area that is not designated for a bus stop. And I say to you, "Good morning, how are you? Why are you here?" "Oh, sorry, officer." And he moves off because he or she knows they committed an offense. The same thing with the area there by the Chinese and Wellington Road. Mm-hmm. Mr. GQ, that area is always almost full. Always. And I drive around with a ticket book in my vehicle, not to frustrate anybody. But sometimes you need to make people example. Maguire and I had an issue there about, would have been last week, with a young lady parked on the yellow line right there by the Wellington, by the Chinese shop, with about 5 vehicles parked there. And we gave every one of them a ticket, and we were dealing, she was the last person for us to be dealing with. And Maguire, that young lady was so disrespectful. She was so out of order, so out of lane. And guess what? She didn't even have a driver's license. It was not even, she had one, but, it was not renewed. And there she is carrying on. You're wrong because you're parking in an area you're not supposed to park. And then you're operating a particular way, making a fuss of how there is so many other things that we can do. There is criminals out there, why we don't go look for them, and how we probably have nothing else to do, and you do not have the appropriate document to be driving. So I am saying, we as police officers sometimes, because I know a lot of police officers use the bus terminal, they use the bus route, the bus for transportation, and a police officer would walk past from the police station, walk towards that same area, see vehicles and pass them straight. That is not supposed to happen, especially if you're in uniform. And so this gives the general public in their mind, oh, well, the police officer see me there and he ain't say nothing, so it's okay to do that.
Let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning, GQ.
Hey, good
Good morning,
morning.
Donnelly.
Good morning.
No, Donnelly. With the photo machine where they got, I believe that is a good thing by the traffic department and the government. Petition, they wouldn't take warning. And it seemed to me like that you talk, the more ignorance they do. I was coming across by Camsdale, and a vehicle passed me just there by Martin. I thought the man we going into town. I thought the man hurry and going somewhere. You know what I see him banking nudges. The speed he passed me with, I thought he later you gonna drop somebody to the hospital or something. And this continue happening on the road all the time. So who got money to pay? Let it pay money with the ignorance. You know, I pay for the ticket some week ago because I park in town where I supposed to park, and by right, I got a bad leg, and I just try to my best. When I got to town, park in an area that no traffic did not go. Tell me that they're going to give me a ticket or warning me. Promising that they get them to ticket. A lot of ignorance going on the road, and I want to commend the traffic department and the government, right, to bring these sort of things on the road, to help control the traffic. We are too ignorant. All right then.
Any comments?
Yeah, thank you, caller, and we really appreciate when the general public give us, inspire us like this, and we're really grateful. Thank you so much for that caller.
Before we continue, a voice note and a comment, or a question, I should say. This person is asking about the situation you shared with us this morning with the lady down by Baker's Corner.
Yes.
They're asking, was she arrested for driving with an expired?
That's correct. Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yes, she was. So she has to go before the magistrate.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. We can barely hear you, though. Can you hear us?
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
My, more or less like a question. My vehicle parked where I live. There is a African guy hit it. He was reversing, he hit it. I tried to cooperate with him. He's not cooperating. And we both have the same insurance. When I go to the insurance, his name is not on the vehicle, nor on the insurance. So where do I take this from here?
Was the matter reported to the police?
Hello?
Was the matter reported to the police?
Yes, the police came and take statement.
Okay, so then the matter will be taken to the magistrate court. And you can take your own legal proceedings as well.
Hello?
The matter will be taken to the magistrate court.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's take this voice note. This is coming in from Granny.
Good morning again. Donnelly, good morning.
Good morning.
Only a few things. There was one point in time we had the conversation about the same crossing them down there, boy. Last university, I actually went there and was counting them. And what happens is that the next time we was on the radio, the police officer said that all of them was not in use because I was saying the best idea for them to do is over on the opposite side of us is to make that drain like a sidewalk, right? I think they should do that. So even though you use a particular gate, you have that sidewalk that the people them could walk on and go into the parking lots to go home. Another thing is that I noticed that you guys had the speed camera in the great state of St. Peter's the other day. And I didn't say nothing at first when they came, right? Because I mean, it get to like ease down some of the traffic. But on the other hand, I think sometime this week there was one, and where the one was, right? I was a kind of bit disappointed in a kind of way because there has been many callers on the radio station and they're stating some problems, saying that in the great state of St. Peter's you do not have no board to say that about speeding. I mean, what's your speed limit? And I would not have had no problem if the camera had turned down into the New Road area, because when you're coming up, there's one beer sign saying 25 miles per hour. I mean, 20 miles per hour, right? But it turned in a position where there is no other, I repeat again, no other speed mark to say how fast you must drive. That is one thing, it is not in St. Peter's, right? I don't know, maybe y'all have a high count to say y'all get this amount of people speeding in the great state of St. Peter's. But what happened to if somebody came on a plane, I mean, on the night late, and they know that they're going down in a high populated area in the morning, they're going down, because they ain't seeing no speeding and that camera pick them up. What happened to somebody who walk from the Shadwell direction or from the Keyan direction and going down into the St. Peter's, and they know that area is more populated than anything else and they're only supposed to drive 20 miles per hour? What happened to those people? Because there is no signage, none whatsoever.
Thank you very much, Granny. Sergeant Maguire and our painter or our maintenance guy would have drove around. I am not certain if St. Peter was a part of that, where they would have looked at all the areas that where we need the 40 miles and the 20 miles per hour signs. Now, those are forthcoming, and I am certain that if St. Peter's is lacking of these signs, I am certain that they will be given their fair share. Back to what we were speaking about, Mr. GQ, the lady who called about the accident, she spoke about her vehicle in her community, and I'm happy that she brought up that, because there are too many derelict vehicles that are parked in communities. Persons fully well knowing that they don't want a vehicle anymore, they're not using it anymore, it's done, they only want it for parts, and yet they're taking up somebody's parking space. And we're asking the general public, those of you who live in communities, those of you who live in communities that are overpopulated with vehicles, please to be mindful that there are other persons who have vehicles. As a matter of fact, last month, the month of October, we had 269 vehicles came in, and we have a car boat coming in next week. And so,
sorry to interrupt you. We have a call coming in. All
yes.
right. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, we have a car boat coming in with...
The call is back. I apologize, Dominic.
That's okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Daniel.
Good morning.
I have a question. I'm a wheelchair user, right? And the community where I'm living, I put a piece of pipe in the drain and use it to help me to get in and out of my property with comfort. But sometimes I encounter vehicles that know I'm living, and they would have right over that. There is no entrance or exit for me. Is there any restrictions to that at all?
Yes, when it comes to parking in front of somebody's gate, there is no restriction. What happens is that a person who is driving or parking a vehicle must make sure that someone can get in and out of their gate. When it comes to a garage, it's an offense to block somebody's garage. But if you live in a community and you have a small gate and a garage gate, anyone can park in front of that gate, making sure they're giving you enough space to get in and out of your yard, or in and out going to that gate?
Because what I'm saying is that sometimes people like they have no regard for wheelchair users, and it's our only means of moving along. And blatantly, they would block the area, the park, and
what can happen, caller, is you can have a conversation with us, because it depends on the situation. We can make a difference in you getting, if there is an issue, if there is a medical issue, you have a conversation with us and we can put something in place.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
All right, we're gonna get ready to wrap up. We're over the time, but I'll squeeze in on this last question. Why is the signage to no right turn into and out of Gilead's gas station so small?
Thank you, caller. What happened is that we ordered some signs and we ordered some signs recently, and that is the size that they came in, and we ourselves are having issues with the sizing, and so we're trying to rectify that issue. We are aware, and we're happy that you would have taken note. But thank you for that information, caller, but we are aware.
Donald, we're out of time. I'm going to let you wrap up now.
Yes.
And thanks to the callers and those of you who sent your messages this morning and participating in the
Yes,
show.
and
I do hope the officer here in studio in question can assist you with your concern and bring some calm to your situation.
Yeah, thank you for that, GQ, and thank you, callers, like you said, and we appreciate your call. I would have made a note of some of the things that some person would have said, and so I would take it back to the person who supervises me. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have yourself a great week.
Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the